Welcome back to another episode of Magic's in the Mess, the go-to podcast for ambitious women ready to stop pretending, start aligning, and finally build success your way. I'm your host, Danielle McKinley, speaker, business and wealth strategist, and your go-to problem-solving hype girl. Here, we'll help you unlock powerful mindset shifts, discover your magic, and bring your dream life into reality. Each week, I'll deliver raw stories, proven business strategies, and powerful transformations with industry leaders to activate the magic in you. So if you're ready to ditch the pressure, the performative BS, and the noise telling you who you should be, hit subscribe and let's make some magic. Happy New Year and welcome back to Magic's in the Mess. If you are new here, hi, I am Danielle McKinley. I'm a wealth architect, a systems-obsessed intuition lover, and someone who has learned, sometimes the hard way, that success without fulfillment is not the win people think it is. And I am coming at you hot. It is a fresh year. I've got hot takes. We all feel that momentum and that energy of a beginning because there's so much power in being a beginner and a beginning to a new season. And today's episode, this one is for anyone stepping into the new year, thinking things like, I know I'm capable of more, so why does it still feel harder than it needs to be? Because here's the truth. I want to anchor in this right out the gate of today's episode. Because most of the time, the solution you're looking for is already right in front of you. You're just looking everywhere else. Let me tell you a quick story that describes exactly what I mean, okay? Recently, I misplaced my wedding rings. And when I say misplaced, I mean like full on spiral, freaking out, ready to have crocodile tears, okay? I checked all my normal spots, the counter, the bathroom, the bedside table with my ring holder, the kitchen where I take it off to like wash my hands and put on lotion, my purse, everything. And they were nowhere to be found. So naturally, my brain went to, oh shit, did I accidentally throw them away? Did something happen? And then I started thinking, who am I as the person that, like can't even keep track of their own wedding rings? And side note, I have 2 little kids. We're just coming off of the holidays. We've been staying up late and, we all have those days. So, PSA, be kind to yourself. Anyway, after way too much stress, guess where they were? You guys, they were in my normal spot. Just not in my ring holder. They were in my hair tie holder, right in front of me, literally the entire time. I mean, I looked for these things for 2 days. And that's when it hit me that this is exactly what we do in business and in life and with our dreams. We look and look and look and chase and consume and compare when the thing we need is already right there. It's just not packaged the way that we expected. Okay. So the problem is that there is way too much noise. We live in a time where there's so much information coming at us. Someone on Instagram is crushing it with that strategy, and someone else is swearing this funnel is the answer to all of your problems and to bring in all of the dollars. And another person says, you need to pivot, you need to scale, you need systems, you need to burn it all down and freaking start over. And suddenly you're like, wait, do I need to be doing that too? And that's how shiny object syndrome is born. Not because you're unfocused, but because you're disconnected from your own knowing, your own gut instincts, your own decision-making process that is true confirmation. And the cost of that ends up being the disconnection, okay? The confusion, the burnout, the half-finished ideas, and then repeating the same results year after year, and then thinking that just because it's a brand new year, somehow miraculously you're gonna do nothing different and you're gonna get some different result. So today, I want to throw all that shit out the window and I wanna simplify this because success is really simple. It's not easy, but it is simple, my friend. And there are 3 key ingredients that you need to turn your dream life into reality in 2026 and actually enjoy it while you're doing the damn thing. Okay. So, ingredient number 1 is you have to decide that it's for you. This is where everything starts. You don't just manifest, you don't just strategize, you don't just align, you decide. You decide that the thing you want is for you. not maybe someday, not if it works out, not if it's good enough. In fact, remove if from your vocabulary, and I want you to replace it with when. Okay, so when you hear yourself saying if, this is your big takeaway for today. If you don't take anything else away from this episode, it's this. Stop saying if. Insert when wherever you're inclined to say if, okay? So when you decide, because here's the truth most people avoid, if you don't believe something is available to you, you will subconsciously sabotage it. You'll hesitate, you'll delay, you'll make up excuses and make them seem like it's alignment or something, right? You'll delay, you'll keep one foot out the door, and you'll call it being realistic. You'll wrap it up in some pretty outfit to disguise from what you're actually doing. But it's not realism, it's actually fear wearing a super practical outfit. Okay. And deciding means you stop asking if this is possible for me, and you start asking, how do I support myself in building this sustainably? That one shift can change everything. Decide and replace if from when, okay? Now, here's the second ingredient. The second ingredient is that you have to believe in yourself even when no one else does. And this part is super uncomfortable because people who love you the most, they're going to question you. Your friends might say, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Your family might say, "Oh, I just don't want you to get hurt or blow all of your savings. What if it doesn't work out?" And then you also are battling your ego. And your ego will absolutely chime in with, "Who do you think you are? Let's stay safe. Things are good right here," because that's what your ego is designed to do. But here's what I've learned. Doubt doesn't just mean, it actually doesn't mean at all that you're wrong. Okay. It usually means you're early. So when you're doubting yourself, it usually just means that you're early on in the journey. And that's sort of part of the process. Okay. Belief is not confidence with evidence. Belief is trust before you have proof. If you think about all of the big disruptors, they were called crazy. They were told it wouldn't work out. They had family and friends who didn't support them, but they trusted themselves before having the proof. Okay. And that's why deciding is the first step, and then believing in yourself. And if you're willing to have full certainty before you move, and to know that you trust that it's going to happen without having the evidence, then it will. But if you need to have that full certainty before you make the first move, you, my friend, are going to be waiting forever. Okay. So every meaningful thing that I've ever built in my life required belief before I had validation, including the business that I exited. And if you've heard me talk about that exit and you've been here for a little while, then you know that it felt really empty. And success without alignment is not the route, okay? Which is why belief has to be rooted in your values, not just like external applause or chasing just the dollar signs, okay? Now, ingredient number 3 is the easiest one, and that is consistent action and not quitting when it takes longer than you want it to. Okay, this is the one people hate the most, though, because this is where excuses go to die. You don't need more strategies. You don't need more follow through. You don't need to start over. You don't need to burn it all down. You need to stay in the room long enough for the thing to work. And I'm going to say this with love, okay? If you're listening to this and you're thinking, I invested in sales last year, I invested in ads, I invested in coaching, I put myself out there, I got comfortable in my nervous system to be seen, but you only tried it for a hot minute because you wanted a quick win, then you, my friend, are the problem. It's you. You're not failing. You're not quitting too early. All good things take time, and they take more time than we want them to. And the people who get results aren't more talented. They're more consistent. They stop chasing the next thing. They commit, they refine, they stay, and eventually, inevitably, it clicks. Like for me, I have a plan for this year. I'm not adding any new products. I'm not adding any new courses. I'm going all in on the thing, on the process, and I'm sticking with it for 12 months. And then I'll reevaluate with some data. And yeah, maybe you'll pivot and maybe things won't make sense, but it's not because you decided to give up, it's because you used data to drive the decisions. And I'm committing to staying consistent with the plan and not having those thoughts creep in of like, oh, that's not working, or oh, we need to pivot, or oh, we need to change this. And yes, I'm a big believer in moving really fast and taking quick action in business, but you can't do that when it's at the expense of like wanting a quick win. Okay. Because I know the data shows me, the experience shows me that good things take a lot of time. Okay. So the real secret sauce, and here's what I want you to hear as we wrap this up, is your dream life isn't hidden from you. It's not out of reach. It's not reserved for someone else. It's usually sitting right in front of you, disguised as something simple, unsexy, and requiring you to have patience. Okay. And when you decide that it's for you, when you believe in yourself, even when it's inconvenient and it doesn't make sense, and you take consistent action, even when your timeline gets tested, when you do that, not only will you get what you want, if it's rooted in your values, you'll actually enjoy becoming the person who has it. And that, my friends, that is the real win, is to enjoy your life. Okay. So if this episode hit you, I want you to share it with someone who's been overthinking their next move, who's been feeling stuck, and if you're ready to simplify, to reconnect with your intuition, and to stop outsourcing your power, I am so glad you're here. This year is going to be incredible. I have so much goodness in store for the Magic Maker community, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a fabulous day.